Have you ever noticed how some people seem to think they're immune to the consequences of their actions? They walk through life with a sense of entitlement, convinced that their behavior will simply dissolve into thin air, as if the universe won't notice. It's almost as if they believe they can do harm, manipulate, or take advantage of others without ever facing the repercussions. They leave their mess behind with a smug grin, thinking that their actions will be forgotten, that no one will remember their cruelty. But here's the catch. Actions always have consequences, even if they don't appear immediately. This illusion of escape is dangerous. It leads people to think they can get away with anything. They poke, prod, and hurt others, believing that silence equals weakness, that no one will fight back or hold them accountable. What they fail to understand is that life has a way of making things right, often in ways they never expect. They might think they've escaped, but in truth, they're just delaying the inevitable. The weight of what they've done will always catch up with them, whether they see it coming or not. The real question is, how long will they be able to keep running before the truth catches up? Ever wonder if anyone is watching when people do wrong? It's easy to feel like the universe is silent, like the bad things people do go unnoticed or unpunished. But what if there's a higher force at play, quietly keeping track of every hurt, every betrayal? This is where divine justice comes in. God, or the universe, whatever you believe, doesn't forget. Every tear, every silent scream, every moment of pain you've endured, it's all seen and recorded, even if it seems like nothing happens in the moment. What's fascinating is that divine justice isn't always immediate. Sometimes it waits, letting the wrongdoers think they've escaped, letting them believe they've gotten away with it. But the truth is, karma doesn't forget. The pain they've caused will eventually return to them, and not just as a simple mirror. No, it comes back magnified, multiplied. The very things they put out into the world come back to them tenfold, and it's often in ways they can't avoid or ignore. The beauty of this is that you don't need to lift a finger for it to happen. You don't need to seek revenge or even dwell on it. The universe has its own way of balancing the scales, and when that moment comes, it's often so poetic and precise that it makes you realize justice in the end is never truly silent. There's something profoundly powerful about silence, especially when it's the silence of someone who's been wronged. When you stop reacting, stop engaging in the petty back and forth, you shift the dynamics entirely. People who hurt you often expect you to fight back, to lash out, to seek revenge. But what happens when you rise above that? When you choose peace over chaos? The moment you walk away, not out of weakness, but because you've realized your worth is not tied to their approval or apology, everything changes. The real power lies in your absence. It's unsettling to those who wronged you, because they're left wondering why you didn't fight back, why you didn't give them the satisfaction of your anger. Your refusal to engage forces them to confront something they never anticipated. Your strength to walk away and leave them behind. They can't control you anymore. And that's what scares them most. Your peace becomes the loudest statement. It's not the silence of surrender. It's the silence of someone who's no longer interested in the drama. You've let go, not because you've forgotten, but because you've chosen to stop giving them power over your emotions. And as they continue to struggle with their own chaos, you're out here living a life they can no longer touch. Regret isn't something that hits you all at once. It creeps in, quietly at first, like a shadow you barely notice. But over time it grows, heavier and more suffocating. For those who've wronged you, this slow burn of regret is inevitable. They may think they've moved on, that they've escaped the consequences of their actions. But deep down, they know what they've lost. They know the love, trust, and opportunities they destroyed, and it eats at them. What's truly fascinating is how regret tends to arrive when it's least expected, during quiet moments, when the noise of life fades away. It's in those still, lonely times that they'll replay every word, every betrayal, every mistake. And no matter how many distractions they seek, they'll realize they can never undo what they did. That's when the weight of their actions really hits them, and it's impossible to escape. The beauty of it all is in the cosmic justice that unfolds. What they thought they could erase, what they thought they could get away with, always comes back, often in ways they never imagined. It's not about immediate punishment, It's about the perfect timing of the universe, making sure they feel the consequences in ways far beyond what they expected. And that's the poetic part, seeing them struggle with the very things they once took for granted. Healing isn't just about overcoming the past. It's about choosing to leave it behind, fully and completely. The moment you let go of the pain, the resentment, and the toxic hold others had on you, something beautiful happens. You find freedom. It's a freedom that doesn't come with bitterness or regret, but with peace and possibility. While they're still trapped in their chaos, replaying their mistakes, you're stepping into a future that's yours to create. The contrast is striking. Your life becomes a quiet testament to how far you've come. While they're stuck in the aftermath of their actions, you're building something new. Every step you take forward is a sign that you've outgrown the drama, the hurt, and the struggle they tried to keep you in. And what's incredible is that you don't need to hold on to the past to move forward. You can embrace growth without needing to look back. As you build a future that's free from their influence, it becomes clear. They can't touch the peace you found. They may still be fighting their own internal wars, but you've chosen to leave that behind. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. And in that thriving, you're creating a life that leaves their darkness in the dust.